Zoos and their impact on biodiversity by Manur Fassel. What are zoos? Zoos are a form of conservation areas where a wide collection of animals are placed in cages, primarily for the purpose of public display. In natural ecosystems, animals are susceptible to being killed by humans, as certain physical attributes of animals are used to create a particular product. As the popularity of the product increases, animals are at risk of becoming endangered or even extinct. For instance, in just 3 years alone, 100,000 African elephants were killed for their ivory tusks. Zoos allow humans to reconnect, appreciate, and to become inspired by nature to preserve biodiversity. Whether animal injustices are occurring in the world around us or in the zoos itself, the public does not hesitate to have a say. For instance, Marius was a healthy giraffe that was humanely euthanized. Prior to its public death, a petition was created to find Marius an alternative habitat. The objective of breeding programs is to produce large, stable populations that can eventually be reintroduced into its natural habitat. However, when endangered animals of the same species breed together, there must be genetic diversity to increase disease resistance. An instance where breeding programs were successful in meeting their goal was with the black-footed ferret. By educating the public, humans become involved in the conservation of biodiversity, such as through WWF. Ultimately, the goal of these individuals, organizations, and zoos become essentially the same. They all want to preserve wildlife and achieve it through protecting and breeding species. This increases biodiversity and thus leads to stable ecosystems. The condition that results is referred to as zoochosis. It is when species display abnormal repetitive behaviors such as pacing, neck twisting, bar biting, as well as odd responses to situations. For instance, Kelly the sloth bear gave birth to 3 cubs and ate one of her newborns while she was in labor with the other 2. After a few weeks, Kelly ate her second newborn and abandoned the third. The environment of the zoo varies greatly from animals' natural habitats. In zoos, species no longer live on the basis of the survival of the fittest. Instead, animals receive food sources readily and do not have to rely on developing hunting techniques. For instance, it is for this reason that the survival rate of tigers and wolves are 33% according to a team of researchers in the UK. It is more costly to conserve animals in a zoo rather than their natural habitat. It takes $16,000 per year to care for black rhinos in zoos, whereas it takes $1,000 to protect their habitat. This is because it is very difficult to recreate an animal's habitat, where animals obtain their food source and are part of a social structure. In zoos, animals endure poor living conditions due to insufficient funding. Poor living conditions, zoochosis, and inability to adapt to natural environments will only reduce the population of animals. As animals will continue to be held in captivity, there will be fewer mates to choose from. Once species become extinct, it decreases biodiversity and leads to an unstable ecosystem. Predators will feed on alternative organisms, thus increasing competition, whereas the population of extinct animals will prey lives. I believe that zoos impact biodiversity very negatively and therefore should not continue to exist. This is because animals are suffering from zoochosis due to captivity, zoo-born animals are unable to adapt to their natural habitats, and it is a costly conservation method.
Created using Powtoon.